Sir Keir Starmer is going to be meeting President Trump face-to-face at the White House for crucial talks about the future of Ukraine.
Now, the Prime Minister is expected to ask for a US security guarantee to help deter any future Russian aggression as part of a peace deal negotiation. But we know that Trump has already said no to that, and it's Europe's job. Science, Innovation and Technology Secretary Peter Carl joins us now. No doubt this is a huge moment for Sir Keir Starmer. No doubt that it's the biggest meeting between a US president and a British leader in absolute decades, arguably since the end of World War II. What does Sir Keir Starmer do if the critical bit he wants, which is a promise and a commitment from Donald Trump that he will be part of any ongoing peace in Ukraine once the deal is formulated, what does he do if Trump just says no?
Well, you're right that this is a really significant meeting. It's the first time that they've met as Prime Minister and President. The first thing that needs to be done in these meetings is establish the relationship, because this is a new relationship and Britain has the special relationship with the United States. And of course, at moments like this, it needs to be renewed and refreshed for the moment that we're living in. So that's the first thing that needs to be achieved at this meeting. The Prime Minister is going into this meeting with a whole series of different offers and asks and things that we want to propose to America that becomes part of that special relationship going forward. And of course, Ukraine is front and centre in the Prime Minister's mind, because we stand so front and so shoulder to shoulder with the people of Ukraine and President Zelensky himself. We are, and the Prime Minister has been clear, that we want to provide the security that Ukraine needs in order to protect its sovereignty going forward and its integrity in terms of its land borders going forward. To do so, we are prepared to step up, which is why we're increasing our defence spending, which is a solid, very important commitment from the UK. But we also are keen that the US plays a role within that. Now, these are all things we're bringing to the table. They will all be part of the discussions. The President will be bringing things to the table that he wants to prioritise. That's the nature of these discussions, and let's see where it gets us.
But what do you do if he says no?
Well, you're asking me to talk about a potential outcome for discussions that haven't even started. They'll start later today. So what I can do is confirm what the Prime Minister will be going into these discussions with. We know that the President cares very deeply about ending the war in Ukraine. That is a good thing to have a President that's so engaged in it. We know that he is listening also. We also know that other members of his administration, including the Vice President, have said that everything is on the table. And in that moment where everything is on the table, we have a proposition to put to them about the way that we can deliver the peace and stability and sovereign integrity that Ukraine needs into the future.
But we all know the problem, don't we? And it's that Donald Trump is fantastically unpredictable. And you can have done all the war gaming you like ahead of this meeting. You simply don't know what he's going to do or going to say. The one thing you can be certain of is that he will not take advice from those around him if he doesn't want to hear it. No exceptions. I'm not sure how well you could hear that, but he was effectively saying that he won't take orders from anybody. And that makes him deeply unpredictable.
Donald Trump is a powerful leader. He is a powerful human being. Donald Trump uses rhetoric in a way which is unusual. He uses rhetoric in a very powerful way. But what matters most is the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are discussion. They are the way that countries and leaders come together. But crucially, Richard, it is what comes out in terms of an agreement. And we know that Donald Trump has shown great flexibility when it's in the interests of his country, in the interests of America in the past. And we will be there with our ideas, and we will be showing how it is in the interests of America that we can deliver a sovereign peace settlement in Ukraine that protects the integrity of its borders going forward. We have our ideas. President Macron was there earlier in the week, and we have President Zelensky himself, which of course is fundamental to these discussions going forward. We stand shoulder to shoulder with President Zelensky. But these discussions today, let's just look about what comes out in terms of an agreement. Keir, our Prime Minister, is very, very good at delivering agreements and deals himself. So I think this will be a meeting which I'm very looking forward to, particularly because we'll also be talking about economic opportunity. When Britain and America work together as part of the special relationship in things like science and technology and innovation, then of course both territories add up to more than some of its parts. We're both great historic innovators, and I think that we can come together on things like quantum and AI. And if we can win that race as two liberal democracies, we can then stay ahead of that race. That will deliver wealth, jobs, and opportunities, and also power and influence for our two respective countries, which will stand us in very, very good stead into the future. And this is also going to feature in the discussions today.
See, you mentioned Zelensky there, and there's another reality gap. You've got President Trump yesterday saying that he's reached a deal with Zelensky, and Zelensky will be in the White House on Friday to shake hands and sign that deal. You've got Zelensky about an hour later saying, no, we haven't reached agreement at all. We've got an outline area of discussion that we've sort of roughly agreed on, but there's a long way to go. And actually, the deal is dependent on America guaranteeing our security. And Trump, at the same time, is saying that he won't do that. So that's two reality gaps before we've even started the talks.
Yeah, Richard, if you go back in time and see other very challenging sets of negotiations, you look at the Northern Ireland peace process, you look at the Brexit negotiations, of course, you get different sides going into these negotiations with very different worldviews, very different approaches, and very different expectations of what they want out the other side. But in all of these circumstances, and of course, we have a lived experience of the Northern Ireland peace process, in all of these circumstances, the thing that matters most is what happens when it comes to actually making concessions and making agreements. Lasting agreements is what we're in this for, and it's also what President Trump and the American people are in it for. So let's just see what actually comes out, because the fundamentals of these processes have remained the same, even though the characters on both sides have changed.
OK, can I talk tariffs very quickly? He's threatened hikes for Mexico and Canada. He said yesterday 25% will be the tariff for the European Union. I can't remember which way you voted on Brexit, but are we pleased to not be part of that? Is there an option for Britain to have a special relationship and a better tariff?
It's not about whether I'm pleased or not. We are where we are, and we have to make use of all the opportunities we have. So if you look at my area, I'm responsible for technology as the Secretary of State, you'll see that we're regulating AI fundamentally differently than the European Union is. So that's because I'm looking at Britain as it is today and seeking all of the advantage we can, whilst rebuilding our relationship with the EU, exploiting all the trading opportunities we have into the future, including security and defence, but also doing so bilaterally with the United States. I've been to the EU now several times and met with more than 5 of the commissioners in the EU. I've been to the United States several times and met counterparts over there. Britain is in a place, a unique place at the moment, to exploit some of the massive opportunities we have, and we're going flat out to make sure that we can get our economy rooted in the high growth sectors of the future, including space and AI and science, technology and all those sorts of things, and medical technology and all of those sorts of things. These key partnerships with both territories are crucial to that.
OK, well, I'm afraid we're out of time, Minister, but thank you for yours, and do wish the Prime Minister, if you speak to him, the very best of luck from us, because he's going to need it.
I will, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you.